What's the weather across the U.S.? Well, honestly, there's a good bit going on. Let's start on the East Coast, where there's a coastal low that's been moving its way up the mid-Atlantic that kind of has a tropical storm vibe to it in terms of the look of it, the movement, and the impacts, but it's not. Let's definitely make that clear. Still dropping heavy rainfall, upwards of 4 inches locally, with some of those higher totals sitting in far northeastern North Carolina into far southeastern Virginia. Think Newport News, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, that kind of area. And so, with all of that rainfall, there's a series of flood alerts in effect, mainly watches and even some coastal flood warnings, and high tide is going to play a big part in how flooding gets along some of those coastlines. Winds are getting upwards of 40 plus miles per hour, so of course you see a wind advisory on the coast and even some gale warnings on the sea. You can even see some rip currents possible as you look as far as Long Island. Now, the greatest impacts are in southern Maryland into North Carolina, but you could even see some of those rain bands reaching as far as central and metro Maryland, parts of Pennsylvania, and even a bit of Jersey as well. Moving on into the middle of the country, there's a trough that's digging further into the plains in the Midwest that's now bringing a level 2 chance of some severe storm activity, primarily in Nebraska, but also in some corners of Colorado and Kansas. Now, large hail looks to be the most likely threat, but some gusty winds and a few spin-ups are also possible. This storm is especially interesting because this is the same trough that brought the rare 20 tornado reports to North Dakota back on Sunday. Bringing it on down into the southeast, there's a frontal boundary that's stalling around southern Florida that could continue to bring marginal chances for severe storms and a lot of rainfall that could top out at more likely about 3 inches, but could even locally get as high as 6, which of course is going to be leading to flood risk. While we're still on the flood risk topic, we move on over into the Pacific, where the undead tropical storm Mario is in its final hours as it devolves thanks to some increasing wind shear and some cooler waters as it tries to move north. Now, as Mario itself fades, the remnant moisture is going to surge into parts of the Southwest, Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, and otherwise through about Saturday. There's not super high confidence in the rainfall, but there is much more confidence in the likeliness of flooding, particularly on Thursday and Friday. And since we're talking tropics, we can finally talk about the Atlantic again because it's given us some activity. Invest 92L is chugging along, and it is likely to become a tropical depression or the named Gabrielle in just the next couple of days. It is expected to move northeast of the Lesser Antilles and actually curve further into the Atlantic. So no mainland U.S. impacts, but it'll definitely be something to keep an eye on for Bermuda. And just behind it, there's a second wave that's now just coming off the African coast that has been marked for watching.